PNB Rock was gunned down tragically on September 12th in Los Angeles, California. And I want to talk about, first, rest in peace to Rakeem Hashim Allen, better known as PNB Rock. And I want to discuss the situation as I see it, because there's so much to unpack here. But what up, world? Welcome to Talking Facts. My name is Charles Brown. I'm your host. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Okay, so we all know at this point that PNB Rock was a rapper from Philadelphia who was tragically killed in a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And there are many, many videos with many, many opinions about what happened. You have the Breakfast Club, you have Bosco, you have academics, you have so many people that have something to discuss about this situation. As this is the biggest story in hip hop, because it's on so many levels that we can't even really connect them all. But I want to talk about from this angle that a lot of people, and again, I want to say rest in peace to this brother. Only 30 years old, had 2 daughters, I believe. The baby mom was in the restaurant with him, and we're going to get into all of that you want to hear about, right? But when I first saw the video, I was like, I hope that kid makes it, right? Let me just start there. I was like, he landed on the floor in his own blood. Now, we just saw TJ make it. We saw TJ make it. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy, because they weren't saying he was dead. They were just saying that he was shot. It didn't look good. That video did not look good. And a lot of people are criticizing the person making the video, saying, why didn't you try to help him, do CPR? That was part of the problem. They did try to help him. They moved him and turned him. They didn't put pressure on the wounds. They were trying to help him, but they don't know what they're doing. So they started trying to turn him and flip him and do all this stuff. The person that did the video, he did what most people are going to do in this era. They're going to record it. Because if you didn't see it, you probably would have thought it wasn't as dramatic and as bad as it actually turned out to be. So I'm not one of these people who knock people for shooting videos in situations they can't help. Because if the girl didn't film George Floyd, we wouldn't have what we have, the reform that we have. So I'm not one of these people who knock the people for shooting videos. I'm not that guy. I want you to shoot the video. It's disturbing. It's horrible. But the more we see these things, the more we can start to ask each other, why are we doing this stuff to each other? Right? Why do we feel it's okay to run up on each other and gun them down and leave them in a pool of blood in front of their family and their loved ones in a daggone chicken place? But I do want to talk about, I don't want to digress. What I want to discuss is, when you first saw the news that this brother, PNB Rock, was in there, and I don't listen to his music. I'm going to be the first one to tell you. I don't know this brother like that. I know him from social media posts and things like that, but I never sought out his music, so I'm not even going to sit here and act like I know this guy like that. I don't know him like that. But I know that he's in this hip-hop profession, this hip-hop community that I'm in, and I know that this is a big culture that we all have success and failures in, and we all have repercussions, and we all have to learn how to maneuver this thing together, right? And as a society, we need to learn how to treat these people. Are the most disrespected people on earth, rappers, in every kind of way, mentally, physically. You could say anything to them. You could tweet anything to them. You can call them anything. You can call them whatever name you want, and you could talk about their clothes, their family, their personal life, everything. You can do whatever. You can run up on them. You can yell at them. You can spit in their face. You can dump on them, do whatever to them, because they are just a rapper that you can say whatever you want to say to, right? Let's just start there. They're not even human beings anymore. They're just rappers. When Kendrick dropped his album, he had to go to Ghana because he knew it was going to be a lot of crazy nonsense said to him and about him. So he just left. He was out of the country for a while because he didn't even want to deal with the album, the rollout of people talking crap about his album, right? But when you first heard that this guy was shot, first thing you're like, oh, it's another rapper shot. Then when you hear he's shot in a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in LA, downtown LA somewhere. And then you hear that he had on all this jewelry. Your first instinct is to be like, why this dude in a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? Somewhere where he could be hit and seen and robbed. That was my first instinct. I'm like, why he in a Roscoe's? I don't even have no gold on it, and I'm not going in there. Not even because I'm worried about getting robbed. It's just, I don't want that. Right? Last time I had Waffle House, it was awful. And I get it. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is not Waffle House. I understand that. But the girl, his girlfriend, his baby mom, who he had just, if I'm not mistaken, just gave her, which he ain't had no right to do. He took her from Instagram. He took her social media from her, right? Some kind of way. He had banned her from there, if I got the story right. And he had just like given it back to her recently. Again, he's not her dad. He can't do that, but he did it. For whatever reason, he had to calm her down or whatever. Posted a story with the location of the meal that she was eating. It said Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and it has the little ping and thing. And if you click the ping, you can see the exact Roscoe's that they're at. And I think they were there for an hour, right? And a lot of people are blaming this girl for his murder, right? And this is where we are in society. Instead of blaming the robber who came in and hit him about 9 times, right? And instead of blaming him for going in a chicken and waffle with a Maybach out front, right? And instead of blaming him for not having none of his homies around, no security or nothing around, and not even having his own weapon to defend himself, just going out there with his chest out saying, they ain't gonna do nothing to me because I'm PNB, this is what I do. I'm that dude, right? I'm not saying that's what he said. But your actions tell me you thought nothing could happen to you. I've been watching mad videos, and some of the most coldest gangbangers in LA said that's probably the worst area in the entire city to go sit down and eat. They're saying that's probably the worst area he could have chose. Now, Whack 100 is saying he chose it because it's close to the airport. He could have got in, got off. And I heard some other things, and it's like, that thing 20 minutes from the airport. My idea close to the airport is not 21 minutes away. That's not close to the airport to me. Right? And they say he was living out there. He's from Philly, but he moved to Los Angeles. And he was living out there. But he was back and forth, right? Or whatever. And the more you dig into the story, you understand and you find out that he wasn't at the top of his career no more. He was declined. He had declined. I believe he was on Atlantic Records, and I believe they had dropped him about between 4 and 6 months ago. And he was trying to do independent music himself, but they weren't equipped to do it because his management team, this is all according to DJ Academics, his management team was not skilled at that because that wasn't their area of expertise. When you have a major label doing all the work, you don't need to know. You don't need to know nothing. You just where the check's at. But apparently if my information is correct, I just watched Academics this morning, he was saying this guy was trying to be independent and none of the rappers was rocking with him no more because he wasn't popping. Academics said he was getting dubbed from people. They weren't taking his calls no more. They weren't trying to do records with him. And he was trying to get Academics to get him back on. And Academics said he was putting him on. He rocked with his music when everybody stopped. He was still rocking with his music. He was still talking to this guy every single day. And he was pointing him in the direction of different Spotify people to rock with, to get him on their list and things like that. Ac was helping him behind the scenes. So a lot of people got mad at Academics for putting out the clip of him saying he almost got robbed a few weeks ago. But Academics was really one of the only people in the business that was rocking with him. And academics are saying a lot of these rappers that saying, you my man, rest in peace, was the same ones that was dubbing him before he got murdered. But like I was saying, his career had declined. So I don't know if his money was there like it should have been, to have the security that we're chastising him for not having. Right? Everybody want to blame this girl for the location. And yeah, that's ridiculous. In 2022, you should know better. The average everyday guy should know better. Don't be posting if you out here like that, even if you're not. I don't post where I'm at till I'm gone. So you can go there and look for, I'm at home. For one. And for two, let me just be 100%. This on a side note. It's certain places I'm going to go eat that I'm not going to take a picture of the food because I'm embarrassed to be there. Right? And I'm not saying nothing wrong with this place. I'm not that, the picture wasn't that great of a picture. The food wasn't that slamming. I'm like, this guy's making mad money and we up in here. This is what you picturing? Right? One of the guys' chains was more than I have in a year. Right? But I'm not eating in here taking pictures of this. So you're thinking like, what other reason could they possibly be in this Roscoe's? In the worst neighborhood, one way in, one way out. You got a Maybach in the back then in the parking lot. Well, you back then, so I guess you thought, well, if I got to leave in a hurry, whatever. But what's the purpose of any of this? Being there with a neck full. I'm going to gamble and say the jewelry on his neck, minimum, and it's a low ball, because I know it was more than 100 grand. So we're going to say minimum 100 grand. You're in LA in the grimiest neck of the woods with over 100 grand on your neck. Right? Again, I feel this hurt me, this brother getting hit. This hurt me, bro. I get hurt almost every time one of these guys because they young. But what else can you be telling me? If you're in this neighborhood with a freaking house on your neck, you're in this grimy restaurant for over an hour, and your girl's taking pictures of her food. Now, one thing nobody's talking about, he saw that girl taking a picture of that food. Let's be clear. You're at lunch. You know your girl. You see her with the phone taking the picture. You know she's taking the picture. Well, how many ways is he going to not see that? And say, yo, shorty, don't post that. So let's be clear. I'm almost 100%, like I wasn't there, but I'm almost certain he saw that girl take that picture. And we can't even say the picture is the reason. Everybody's saying it's the reason she got him set up. Did she do it on purpose? No, she ain't doing it on purpose. She didn't set this man up. So let's stop that narrative right there. First of all, it was a dumb thing to do. Let's be honest. It's crazy to take a picture with this guy got a hunt. He's in the hood. Gangbangers are on a high alert when they go there to eat. And you in there, like he not even from there. And he got no protection. This guy ran in through one door, ran out through the other, had a car waiting outside and jumped in it and dipped, had a purple mask on. This was planned. This was well planned. And they're saying that he tried to rob the dude and the dude resisted. Now, think about this scenario. This dude's 6'something. This dude got a little weight on him. He ain't big, but he should be able to go. The last thing you want is him standing up, grabbing your weapon, and you don't know what he's going to do to you when he get up, right? You're not going to play no games with this dude. This dude got a watch, a ring, all this stuff. I just want that. I'm ready to go. He food. This is the thing, a rapper willing to give their life up for their reputation. They're willing to let it all in so they won't be embarrassed. You leave your kids so you won't be embarrassed. Let me put it like this. The career was already rocky. People weren't really checking for him. It is what it is. That little bit of embarrassment, he got robbed in LA. You would have lived another 30, 40 years for your kids. You literally could have gave up rapping tomorrow and it would have been okay. He said they tried to rob him a few weeks ago and he somehow maneuvered himself out of that. He untouched more than once, he said. All it takes is once. Well, what us young black men got to start understanding, you don't see this happening to the white boys. Right? We are hunting each other. And once you realize you're under attack at all times. Right? We see these guys getting gunned down in these eateries. You just saw TJ get gunned down in a Starbucks. This guy's a multi-million-dollar rapper. He's up in a Starbucks. Thinking it can't happen. Guess what? It happened. So what I don't understand is how these guys are moving. There is so many ways to get this food without getting killed. He could have ordered that to go. She could have ran in there and grabbed that bag and left right out of there. They could have ordered a Uber Eats, DoorDash, anything. He could have ate at the airport. I'm sure this ain't the first time he had Roscoe. I guarantee you. It's like the first time he's had that. Now, my opinion of this is ego. I just told you his career is on a decline. The last thing he needs is to be out here looking scary. So what you do, you go to the heart. If you lived in LA for a while, then you should know the neighborhoods where it's rocking. Over there is this, over here is that. I guarantee you he knew what to not wear over there. Right? So put it like this. I feel like if you backed into that car space in this grimy neighborhood, you don't even need to be told that a neighborhood, you could look around and see that a neighborhood is grimy. Nobody needs to explain to you where you at. Half these places, you could see like, oh, liquor store, gun store. Like you could tell this ain't it. So if you back your Maybach up in that, and you go in there dolo, and you sit there for an hour with all your jewelry, that's ego, bro. I'm just gonna have to keep it 100 with you. That's not somebody that's dumb. That's somebody that's saying it can't happen. That's ego. Oh, I'm PNB. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. They ain't gonna touch. They know, dudes know, right? Pride goes before the fall, bro. That's when it comes, when you at your most pride and you realize that you are where you want to be in life and they can't take it, nothing from you, they can't touch you. That's when they touch you. Saddest thing is him and XXXTentacion was boys. Like straight up. If that kid was alive, he probably would be doing music with him right now. It's sad to see these artists dying. So what I'm not going to do is blame the girl. She did one of the dumbest things you could do in 2022 is tag your location with a famous person with a neck full of jewelry. But this could have been some dudes that was already there. Right? This could have been some dudes that was already there. This is a grimy neighborhood. This could have been a dude that drove past and he's smoking a swish and look and see the Maybach. Say less. Right? Why is a Maybach here? I ain't never seen no Maybach in that parking lot. And whoever the driver is, we don't know him. So it's food. So we got to understand it ain't all about the location. End of the day, let me be honest with you. I'm going to tell you a story. Whack 100 said 50 Cent, they had issues with 50 Cent when he's the games manager. He said 50 Cent got word to them that he was going to be at a bar in LA. He was going there for a drink, whatever he was going for. Wax said he got there. They went 10, 15 deep. They was going to mash 50 Cent out and do whatever to him. He said he got there. All he saw was red beams. This dude had a whole battalion. Mercenaries. With rifles, with scopes on them. Walkie-talkies in the ear. Looking around, like, posted up everywhere. And he said they went up to the door. 50 Cent looked back with a grin like, ha, what's up? And they said, oh, no, we ain't ready for this. And they bounced. He said, I ain't got no problem with these, like ex-military, ex-officers, whatever they wasn't to play with. So that's how you roll. You could post anything at that point. You could post whatever, wherever. Because by the time these guys jump out the vehicle, they ain't going to touch the handle of the door. And it's a justified killing because he got a mask on, he got a gun in his hand. Bop, bop, bop. So if you're not rolling like that and you're posting your location, it's all wrong. Every single thing about it is wrong. It's flossing, it's doing too much, and it's not doing enough. So I do want to say R&B, rest in peace to PNB Rock. I do want to say rest in peace. Because, brother, you did not deserve that. And, yeah, you should be able to wear whatever you got, and you should be able to not have people running up on you. All of that is facts. But you also have to understand the situation, right? You have to. We as people, it's wolves out here. You cannot be not only just sheep. You cannot be fat sheep that can barely move, and you got a sign on you saying, I wish you would eat me. Right? Let's not blame the girl. Yeah, she did a dumb thing, but you can only do dumb things that people allow you to do to them. Right? If you in that situation, are you going to let this girl do all that to you, or are you going to move smarter? I'm hoping that you guys move smarter. I would love to tell all the dudes that's robbing and killing, stop robbing and killing. We've been saying that since the daggone 60s. In the 70s, stop robbing and killing. We need to do better with our people. It's us versus us. This black on black crime. We our own worst enemy. We've been saying this for years. Ain't nothing changed. It's getting worse. So before we start trying to appeal to the bad guy, we need to appeal to ourselves and move smarter. Again, RIP. And to the guys that's shouting this man out and didn't really rock with him in real life, shame on you, bro. You know who you are. It is what it is. My name is Challz Brown. CLBMG.com. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Let me know what you think in the comment about everything. It's so much to unpack that I ain't even scratched the surface. Peace.
CLB.